Those who are instigating further violence in Baltimore are disrespecting the Gray family and the entire community. They are compounding the tragedy of Freddie Gray's death and setting back the cause of justice. So the violence has to stop.
Hillary Clinton earlier today at Columbia University speaking out about the Baltimore riots, and you just heard her say the violence is disrespectful to the family of Freddie Gray and it needs to stop. Although last night was relatively quiet after the curfew went into effect, the city of Baltimore continues to suffer and now faces the challenging task of healing wounds inside the community and finding some sort of economic recovery. For more on this developing story, we're very pleased to welcome here to the anchor desk financial expert James Davidson. He is a Baltimore native. And via telephone, our good friend John Hope Bryant, chairman of Operation Hope, which works to empower people through the free enterprise system. John Hope Bryant's also the author of the book, How the Poor Can Save Capitalism. Now, to JD, right here beside me. As a Baltimore native, you grew up there. You can give us a historical overview. What is the problem in your opinion?
Well, I think just to set the record straight, I grew up in Maryland and I spent a lot of time in Baltimore. And I remember back when I was in high school, we did a field trip to the General Motors factory in Baltimore, and they were offering the equivalent of $60 an hour jobs to high school dropouts.
Wow.
Anybody who came along. The same thing was true in the Sparrows Point steel mill. There were 100,000 jobs in manufacturing in Baltimore that paid high middle-class incomes. But that started going downhill in the 1970s. In fact, it went down before that because income peaked in Baltimore in 1969 at almost 20% higher than it is today. And 25% of the people who live in the city of Baltimore, mostly the African American community, are totally in poverty. They have average incomes of about $2,400 a year. So there are no jobs in this city to speak of. Most of the jobs that exist now are for high-skilled people, and it's a very difficult situation. It's one that everybody's heart goes out to the families of these people who have been injured, and also to the people who were trying to start a small business on these streets.
That is so heartbreaking. Yes, because you had small businesses there, James. John Hope Bryant, to you now, sir. We should note you started Operation Hope in the wake of the Rodney King riots out in L.A. You have an operation in Baltimore. Can you tell us about it and how it might help going forward?
By the way, today, can't make this up, today is the 23rd anniversary of the Rodney King riots. Today. April 29th, 1992 is when it kicked off. Coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. Ambassador Andrew Young would say, I believe rainbows can follow storms just like it did in South Central L.A. We have an office there. The one thing I can say about that office is it's not doing enough. We need to be doing much more there. We will be doing much more there. We just opened an office yesterday, announced it in Ferguson, Missouri, as an example. I disagree respectfully. I agree with JD, who's in your studio, what he just said. I disagree respectfully with the gentleman who was on a little while ago who said this has nothing to do with economics. It has everything to do with economics, and it has everything. And he also said that the black men were angry. That's just not true. They're depressed. Worse, they have no hope. The most dangerous person in the world is a person with no hope. So poverty has nothing to do with money, JD. You're wealthy, and I don't need to look at your balance sheet. You've got high self-esteem, and you have high confidence. That's half of wealth and half of poverty. If you don't believe in yourself in this country, you are toast. Go ahead.
Attitudinally as well as economically, John, it's fitting your middle name is Hope. Now, gentlemen, I want us both to listen to something that Governor Larry Hogan had to say and then get your reaction following these words from the governor.
This is not the Baltimore that we know and love. This is certainly not putting us in very good light. It doesn't help with tourism. It doesn't help bringing in businesses, but we're going to be stronger after this is over with.
Gentlemen, 30 seconds to you each. James, you're here on the anchor desk. Let me start with you. Can Baltimore recover?
Yes, it can recover, but it's not going to be an easy task. It's very difficult to find a way to create entrepreneurship. I would point out that, and I've done some interesting studies to me of this, that even in the antebellum South, when blacks were enslaved, some percentage of blacks succeeded economically and became very successful. There were a whole bunch of black entrepreneurs who became the equivalent of centimillionaires or even billionaires.
Well, with that in mind, let's turn to John Hope Bryant. Let him get the last chance here. If it could happen in the antebellum South, John, can it happen in Baltimore in the 21st century? 20 seconds, sir.
It has to happen for America. You need to move credit scores to 700. Block by block in Baltimore. Nothing changes your life more than God or love than moving your credit score 120 points. These neighborhoods are 500 credit score neighborhoods. You can raise the self-esteem, raise the confidence, create job seekers, and job creators by raising the financial well-being of people. We're going to do that block by block through Hope Inside locations and Project 5117.
John Hope Bryant, we thank you for checking in on the phone. James Davidson, thanks for being right here, and we're coming right back.